Welcome to the Auditor State Uniform Accounting Network Screencast for performing utility functions on posted purchase orders in UAN. In this screencast, we will cover how to use the adjust, reprint, print activity, close item, and display actions in the purchase orders utility. To navigate to the purchase order utility, we select the Accounting module, the Utilities menu option, and then the Purchase Order Utility function. The Purchase Order Utility area will open to the right, listing all purchase orders posted in the current processing year, as well as any carryover purchase orders that were left open at the end of the prior year. The actions available in this area are Adjust, Reprint, Print Activity, Close Item, and Display. The Close button just closes the purchase order utility area. All purchase order types are managed the same way in this utility. There are 3 key points to understanding adjusting purchase orders. First, purchase order adjustments cannot increase the encumbrance of any appropriation account. For example, you cannot adjust the value of a $100 purchase order upward to $110, as that would encumber the charged account by an additional $10. However, you could reduce the charge to $90. Second, you can only adjust purchase orders from the current year. Leftover purchase orders from last year cannot be adjusted. Funds from leftover purchase orders remain encumbered until the following year. For example, leftover purchase orders from 2009 become unencumbered in 2011. Third, encumbered appropriations for this year are immediately released back into their fund when the adjustment is posted. For example, if you adjust the encumbrance of a purchase order downward by $10, those $10 can be reused immediately for other purposes once the adjustment has been posted. To begin, select the checkbox for the item you wish to adjust from the Purchase Order Utility area and click the Adjust button. You may adjust only one purchase order at a time. Only opened purchase orders posted in the current processing year may be adjusted. The Adjust Purchase Order form will open, displaying your selected purchase order. The Adjust Purchase Order form is made up of several sections, buttons, and tabs. They are the Vendor section, the Dates section, the Purchase Order section, the Adjustments tab, the Additional tab, the Post button, and the Close button. Most of these sections are read-only fields whose information was added at the time the purchase order was created. See the screencast for creating and posting purchase orders for more information about these sections. The information in the Vendors, Dates, and Purchase Order sections and the additional tabs are only available for review, so we'll focus on the Adjustments tab and the 2 buttons. However, the net result of any previous charges and adjustments to a purchase order will be reflected under the Read-Only Spent Adjusted field in the Purchase Order section. To adjust a purchase order, begin by entering a brief but informative reason for the adjustment in the Required Purpose field under the Adjustment tab. You are limited to 512 characters. Next, enter the date you want the adjustment to take effect in the Date field by either selecting the date from the calendar menu or by typing in the desired date. Note that UAN has several rules for what constitutes a valid date for this field, which it will enforce. For example, UAN may not allow you to adjust a blanket certificate that has expired or adjust a purchase order before its issue date. If you're having difficulties with the dates for your purchase order, consult the UAN Accounting Manual. Next, enter the amounts of the adjustments under the Adjustment field in the Distribution Data Entry Grid. These adjustment amounts must be negative, but the adjustments cannot reduce the revised balance for the account below zero. Continue to input all required adjustments. Review your work. If everything is accurate, click the Post button or the Close button. If you click the Close button, UAN will prompt you with a message asking if you want to post the adjustment. Click Yes to post and close the adjustment, No to close the form without posting, or Cancel to continue working on the adjustment. If you click the Post button, UAN will ask if you wish to print an adjustment report. Click Yes to print the report or No to avoid printing the report. Either way, the Adjust Purchase Order form will close. If you printed the report, UAN will prompt you with your printer options for this adjustment report. Select the printer you want to use and click the Print button to print the adjustment report. Your purchase order will appear in the Purchase Order Utility area, displaying the newly adjusted current balance. Note that you may adjust purchase orders as many times as you like, as long as they still have an available balance, have not expired, and have not been closed. To reprint posted purchase orders, select the items from the Purchase Order Utility area and click the Reprint button. UAN will prompt you asking if you wish to reprint the selected items. Click the OK button if you wish to reprint all of the selected items, or the Cancel button to avoid reprinting any items. If you click OK, UAN will prompt you with your printer options. Select the printer you want to use and click the Print button to reprint the purchase orders. Note that each selected purchase order will be printed separately to the selected printer. To print a report of the charge and adjustment activities for selected purchase orders, select the items from the Purchase Order Utility area and click the Print Activity button. UAN will prompt you asking if you wish to print activity for the selected items. Click the OK button if you wish to print the activities of the selected items, or the Cancel button to avoid printing anything. If you click OK, UAN will prompt you with your printer options. Select the printer you want to use and then click the Print button to print the activity reports. Note that a separate activity report will be printed for each purchase order selected. The purchase order activity reports will be printed to the selected printer. Remember that closing a purchase order from this year will release its encumbered appropriations immediately. Closing purchase orders from previous years will not release the appropriations until next year. To close purchase orders, select the items from the Purchase Order Utility area and click the Close Item button. UAN will prompt you asking if you wish to close the selected items. Click the OK button if you wish to close the selected items, or the Cancel button to avoid closing any items. If you click OK, UAN will open the Close Purchase Order form and prompt you with a calendar menu to select the date the purchase orders will be closed. The default is today's date. Select the date from the calendar menu or type in the desired closing date. Note that UAN has several rules for closing purchase orders, which it will enforce. For example, UAN will not allow you to close a purchase order if it has been used on a batch payment. If you're having difficulties closing a purchase order, consult the UAN accounting manual. Next, click the OK button to complete closing the selected items, or click the Cancel button to avoid closing the purchase orders. The closed purchase order form will close either way. All purchase orders that were successfully closed will have a status of closed in the purchase order utility list. If any purchase orders are not closed successfully, a form will be displayed describing why those items were not closed. If you need more information about the rules for closing purchase orders, consult the UAN accounting manual. To display purchase orders in read-only format, click on the checkboxes to the left of the items you want to look at and click the Display button. The Display Purchase Order form will appear showing the first of the purchase orders you selected for display. If you selected multiple items to display, you may scroll between them using the navigation arrows at the bottom left of the form. Click the Close button when you are finished viewing the purchase orders. The purchase order utility is mainly used for closing purchase orders that have a zero balance, have expired, need to have their encumbrances reduced, or are no longer needed. While not often used, it is an essential tool for managing your purchase orders. The process is the same for these functions regardless of the type of purchase order you are managing. The key points you will want to remember for managing purchase orders are: 1. Purchase order adjustments cannot increase the encumbrance of any appropriation account. 2. You can only adjust purchase orders from the current year. 3. Encumbered appropriations for this year are immediately released back into their fund when the adjustment is posted. 4. You may select only one purchase order to adjust at a time. And 5. UAN has specific rules for adjusting and closing purchase orders, which it will enforce. If you are having difficulties adjusting or closing purchase orders, you may need to consult the UAN manual for more information about those rules. Thank you for using this screencast on managing posted purchase orders in UAN. For further information, you may contact the UAN support line at 800-833-8261 or by email at uan_support@auditor.state.oh.us.